Welcome everyone to episode 22 of the Brewhouse podcast, a podcast between two brothers where we talk about gaming, tech, entertainment, and everything in between. This week is going to be our Game of Thrones series finale, breakdown, recap, give our thoughts, and it'll kind of be a mini season wrap up. Next week's episode will probably be complete season as a whole, or we'll probably do that this week actually, and then next week will be of the kind of behind the season.
The last
recap.
watch.
Yeah, the last watch recap. So, what were your overall impressions of the episode, Jonathan? I know you said you liked it.
Mm-hmm. I liked it. It was good. I overall for an ending, I think it did really well.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed how they wrapped up the storylines. They confirmed some things to tie some up. They left some things open. The thing is, when they do shows like this, they're not going to wrap everything up essentially because
there's just way too much.
Well, that too, but also why ruin opportunities to make more money?
Yeah. If they leave some things open, they could always potentially go back and reopen those timelines potentially.
Yeah, a new threat could come out.
So kind of like with Arya, like her storyline was left wide open. I actually liked her storyline, probably her ending the most out of anybody's. Maybe hers and Tyrion's I liked the most.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked that Tyrion went back because
oh my god, that scene, who he sat down at the table with, I was like, oh my god, that's so great.
Let's start at the end and work our way back. So was talking about that Tyrion's small council. I like everybody's pick except one, and you probably know who it is. It makes absolutely no sense that Bronn is Master of Coin.
No, it makes perfect sense.
That's
my favorite. Well, no, because the entire point of his character is to make money.
Yeah, but he should have been Master of War. That would have made more sense. Subverting, though.
Realistically, yeah, it should make more. It makes more sense, but the fact that he is Master of Coin is just hilarious.
I absolutely loved that Podrick is like Bran's personal escort now.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
just he's part of the Kingsguard too.
Yeah, just the smile that like when he walked up. And I don't know if you noticed on their armor, Bran has a raven as a sigil now. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty cool. But
going into that, what do you think? Let's get into the meat. Bran as the king.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like, as far as, the best ruler for Westeros and the realm and all that, I think it's obviously the most logical choice.
I disagree.
Well, I'm saying like for the benefit, because he's not going to be selfish.
But he also won't be able to relate to people because he shows no emotion. But
that's also why he has Tyrion.
I want you to think of something, and what if Bran... To me, this whole thing would make more sense if Bran was evil.
Well, yeah, it would.
Because he literally saw everything that would happen, and he put everything into motion.
Yes, but if they wanted to go that path, he could have did like a Kanai smile or something at the end and just ended it like that, which probably would have pissed more people off. Yeah, but they gave no... Throughout his whole character arc, him becoming the three-eyed raven and everything like that, he showed no sign of him being evil. So yeah, it would have been more interesting if he would have gotten that. But I mean, let's be honest.
To argue that they never showed direct signs of Daenerys being Mad Queen. No matter what people say, foreshadowing isn't character development. So I don't think they showed anything directly, especially when scenes that people go back to. It's like, oh, she burned the Masters when she took the Unsullied. In that scene, she said, "Don't harm children." So,
I think the biggest sign of her possibly becoming the Mad Queen is she had she wasn't upset for anything that she did. If someone stood in her way, she would get rid of them and have no solace about doing it. I mean, when her brother died, I mean, she didn't even get upset at all. Huh?
Her brother threatened to kill her.
Yeah, I mean, she was happy he was gone. But that's just, that's my biggest thing is she did what she had to do to get what she wanted, and almost a crazy aspect that she didn't care who got in her way, no matter if it was her best friend or an ally. She was gonna,
or the hundreds of thousands of innocent people that weren't in her way.
yeah, no, she wouldn't have. I mean, if they would have, I guarantee you, if a kid would have stood up to her and tried to attack her, even though she said save the kids, the thing is, you can't expect more to the show that they can't develop throughout the show.
You can't expect more to the show that the writers were hurriedly trying to finish.
Okay, so if they would have waited another year and added two more episodes,
they needed 2 more seasons. Have you seen all the details about what happened between the shortening of the season? HBO wanted 10 seasons of this.
Oh yeah,
and the directors or the writers wanted 6. No, they wanted 7. I'm sorry.
They probably wanted to get out because they realized how good of a job they're doing. They're locked into their contract at a set price, and then you have Disney coming along trying to do a Star Wars, and that's just throwing money at them. So yeah, it's going to be a little upsetting, but 8 seasons for this quality of a show is, I think, is good. Okay. Yes, there was a lot of stuff that was not resolved.
Will you at least admit that season 8 quality was noticeably lower than all the other seasons? As far as writing goes, except maybe season 5.
Verbal writing, yes.
Okay.
Actual written script, yes.
Okay. Let's get more into Bran being king, because that entire scene just pissed me off with the council, especially that there was 2 water bottles just sitting on set, which again, it's small stuff, but it's like, all right, it seems like they're not holding things together. They're trying to rush through. They're not noticing things. Because like people noticed it within an hour.
This has been happening since season 1, though.
I know, but this is the final season. Like,
yeah,
like this is supposed to be their end all be all, and there's been more in this than in all the other seasons.
Well, yeah, they spent too much time on episode 3. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah,
they spent too much time on that episode. Now, granted, that I'm sure that a lot of it had to do, they had so much time put into it because it was shot all at night. So you only have so much time and reshoots and then the pyrotechnics, getting all that set up. But yeah, there was definitely a lack of care at certain points. But the actors, I still think, delivered a quality show.
Oh, the acting was amazing.
Yeah.
And the overall cinematography was still amazing. Like, you
gotta take with what you get. I mean, I'm not gonna be one of those people that, I'm gonna sign a petition for them to reshoot season 8. Get over yourself. That's never gonna happen.
Well, no, people aren't signing it for it to happen. They're signing it to send a message.
Yeah, no, some people want them to reshoot it.
Yeah, but the majority of people, from what I'm saying, are literally just signing it to send a message to the writers, which in my opinion, the writers don't care anymore. Like, they're like, all right, we're done, we're out.
No, I mean, there's the things I'm most upset about are, why is there so many Dothraki? Why is there so many Unsullied? Now, we can assume that 90% of the force, let's say 95% of the forces that were in the last battle survived.
The last battle? Oh, like at King's Landing?
At King's Landing, yeah.
Oh, yeah. She lost, she probably barely
She didn't lose anybody. I mean, they killed the Scorpions. Everybody was freaked out.
They killed the Golden Company, like, instantly.
Instantly, which that was another letdown, but that's
they killed the Iron Fleet in, like, 5 minutes with one dragon, but twice the ships, but half the amount of dragons.
I'm saying, well, yeah, Euron wasn't firing the Scorpion, so they missed.
Yeah, apparently.
I think it was good. It could have been a whole hell of a lot worse.
Oh, it definitely could have been worse, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Daenerys dies, Cersei's queen, Jon joins her side.
Well, yeah,
Would anybody have been happy with that?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that will also probably was never a realistic ending.
Yeah.
So the whole scene where Bran becomes king just pissed me off. Because
they voted on it?
No, not because they voted on it. Because the whole thing, there's multiple reasons why. Yara still trying to defend Daenerys is like a whole big red flag. The whole thing with Jon going to the Night's Watch, doesn't make sense. Because why would Grey Worm
the Night's Watch?
Exactly, yeah. Why wouldn't they just say they're going to do that and then say, oh yeah, you can just like go to like with Sansa in the north and do whatever you want. And why would Grey Worm, the person who was just executing people that had surrendered under his queen's orders, and his queen is like the only person he has left, why would he not automatically try and kill Jon after Jon kills Daenerys?
I think because Grey Worm, as a soldier, he's a soldier. He's going to follow orders ultimately. So he knew if he did anything, he was going to get, reprimanded for it. So just having that soldier mentality where he was going to follow orders no matter who gives it to him, whoever's in charge he's going to follow orders. Yeah, Daenerys was the one that was doing it, but also he could have killed Jon right there before Jon even went up to talk to Daenerys. If he's really that upset. Now, the thing that you mentioned about why didn't Jon just go and be with Sansa up north? I think that also goes back to him and the type of person that he is, and everybody follows him. So if he goes back up there, people are going to look to him more so than her, and he doesn't want that. He doesn't want to be king.
You say that, but then when they were both at Winterfell during season 8, they were still listening to Sansa. Yeah,
they were still listening to Sansa, but they were also naming him king.
Tormund was naming him king.
Well, I mean, the people still followed him king, and then he gave it up. But it could also be that once his name would come out, that might ruin the Stark house. Because I don't know if it's ever going to come out truly 100% at this point.
Yeah, that was another thing. Looking back in the grand scheme of things, him being a Targaryen is 95% like pointless. And which is another thing that leads me back. This entire series makes more sense from the standpoint that as soon as Bran becomes the three-eyed raven, he's evil.
Well, yeah,
he literally he told Jon who he was. If he would have told Jon who he was, more than likely Daenerys never would have gone Mad Queen, because she always would have had Jon.
But if he would have been evil, he would have been evil with the Night King. Or you were saying he would be out for himself?
I'm saying he's out for himself, because he can obviously see the future. Because when Tyrion asks, "Will you be our king?" and he says, "Why do you think I came down here?" That means he knew what was going to happen.
Oh yeah, he knew. I mean,
he knew Sansa was going to tell Tyrion.
We still haven't got an explanation of his powers, but yeah.
Oh yeah, the show, and in the books he has a lot more powers. We both agree the show did a pitiful job of, like, why was he not in all of season 5? You could have been explaining what his powers were then. He literally wasn't in a whole season, which is another thing. Apparently he has the best story out of everybody in the show.
Well,
and when he wasn't in an entire season, Tyrion has a better story. Jon has a better story.
But
Arya has a better story. Sansa
neither one of them is going to be king. Arya doesn't want to be king. Sansa
could have been queen. And if they do the whole heir thing, which I don't know if they will because they'll be voting, Sansa is Bran's heir. Yeah. Since he can't have kids. And then the whole thing where it's like, all right, your literal blood brother is going to be king, but you still want to be independent.
Yeah. I think
it's like
that was kind of nah, but I think she's just sticking with the fact that she fought for the North to be independent and is just keeping that motive going. I was kind of upset about that, but it's also that didn't bother me.
Yeah. The whole scene where Jon kills Daenerys has like 4 lines in this episode. She's dead.
Let me stop you right there. Did you like the episode? Because right now it sounds like you didn't at all.
No, I'm just pointing out everything I found wrong with it. I personally give it a 5 out of 10. I thought
the finale you give a 5 out of 10.
I thought it was average. Let's put it. I was indifferent.
Episode 4 better.
Well, no. Going back and looking at it, I would give episode 4 like a 3. Okay. No, I was indifferent after the series finale, which to me is not a good thing. Like, just personally.
Is it the fact that you want more from it? Like you didn't want it to end. You think we should have more seasons. Yeah, we would like more seasons because it's, you know, a TV show that we really like. So obviously we would want more seasons of it. But is it more the fact that you're upset that the show's over and they didn't explain everything?
I'm not upset with what happened again. That's the general theme of what I'm saying from everybody is that I'm not upset with what happened. I'm upset that it was lazy and rushed writing. And you can call me a snob for saying that. No. It was lazy and rushed writing.
It was rushed writing. I think that it could have added 2 more episodes in a year.
I think they needed at least another season. At least. Because, I mean, you literally could have had Daenerys... Like, Daenerys never ruled. And technically, when she won and Jon killed her, Jon was technically king then. So Drogon didn't kill him. He could have like hopped up on Drogon when the Unsullied came, and then from there given the throne to someone and be like, I'm king, I'm gonna give the throne, I don't want it, y'all do whatever. So then he could give it to Bran.
So you're saying where would that other season that you want, where would it take place? Would it take place in the middle, or would it take place after the end of this
it would
episode?
take place and show Daenerys ruling for a little bit and doing things, and then it gets to the point where she like is planning to attack Winterfell and Jon like goes up and stops her there, and that's halfway through the season, or I don't know. I mean, that's a pretty big moment, so maybe extend this season and have her ruling for a couple episodes and then have a shorter season after that happens with everything wrapping up.
That's why I said if they would be able to add like two more episodes for, you know, probably like an hour and a half each, 2 more episodes, like where they can, you know, show her start ruling and then show her in power and how everything's changed. Because I mean, we knew there was gonna be a time skip. Now what it was like a month, 3 weeks, a month or so. Yeah, after
Jon turned himself in.
Yeah.
And after a Grey Worm didn't kill him for killing his queen. Like, I don't know.
I don't get that. Drogon burning down the throne.
That's another thing I've seen. That's for symbolism. I mean, it's for symbolism, but then people are like, oh, well, Drogon showed more character development because he wasn't going to kill Jon because he was a Targaryen, and he didn't necessarily, I don't know how strong the characteristics of a dragon are, how smart they are.
In this show, we don't know.
Yeah. So if they had gone into more detail about that, we would know. But people were saying, well, he didn't blame Jon because it was like the Iron Throne's fault that Daenerys went mad. So that's why he burned that instead of Jon. And all the people saying Jon would have survived, he would not have survived.
No, he wouldn't have.
He's half Stark, and he burnt himself in season 1 when he killed a White. So. And
just because you're Targaryen doesn't mean you're immune to fire.
AKA her brother dying.
Yeah, no, that if Drogon would have, you know, shot fire at him, he would have died.
Yeah, he would have died.
I mean, the whole people, he has more character development. I mean, it also could have been that he was pissed and that was in the way. I mean, it could be as simple as that. I think it shows more respect that he picked her up and carried her off and left.
Where do you think he's going? Old Valyria?
I think that's my biggest complaint with this series. Now, I don't know how much they go into in the books because I've only read the first one and like.
What about like what Old Valyria was?
Yeah, Old Valyria. Is that
they were like
all the
stone people or whatever? Yeah,
the stone people. Yes, I wish they would have gone more into that, because if he goes over there and, you know, finds another dragon and somehow Daenerys is still alive.
Well, Old Valyria was like pretty much the Targaryen Atlantis. Like it was super advanced. Way ahead of everyone else, and then the doom happened where pretty much like I think a volcano or something went off, and it was like it was so hot like even the fire killed dragons and everything.
Yeah.
So that's the short TLDR, and that might even be partially wrong. I don't know. So yeah, a bunch of people are thinking that's where Drogon went.
I can understand that. I mean, how they ended him flying off with Daenerys, I think you couldn't have asked for anything more at this point. It leaves it open. It leaves it open for other things. Yeah, and even at the end, Bran's like, I should be able to find him. Which is another thing. We never saw Bran like warg into a dragon, which would have been really cool. Like
if he warged into Drogon during the fight with the Night King to like guide him back, since Daenerys like didn't really do anything in that fight.
Well, I mean, she can't do anything without her dragons.
Yeah.
She's never been able to.
Well, no, I'm saying like they didn't really do, like they kind of fought the Night King. Jon and Rhaegal fought him more than they did.
Yeah.
Another thing was the scene with Tyrion finding Jaime and Cersei. So apparently Jaime and Cersei were standing in the only spot where there was rocks, because Tyrion was walking all throughout that entire area, and there was no rocks anywhere except where Jaime and Cersei were. And they were
that
under,
was
like,
just
he picked up 3 rocks and he saw their face, and it's like,
well, also, okay, the ceiling fell down, but that's also, I mean, if you go back to different shows and movies, they shoot things just for the effects.
oh yeah. And
I mean, that
beautifully acted.
that was for the scene to confirm they're both dead, to see Jaime's, covering her.
Yeah.
And for Tyrion to see the last 2 members of his family dead together, knowing that his queen did that. No, that was completely what that is. Yes, it's shit that they did it, but I mean, the biggest one that comes to mind is Jurassic Park. The T-Rex crawls out of the fence, smashes the car, but then 2 seconds later, it's a cliff.
Yep.
I mean, it's all for effect.
Yeah.
So it's all for that reaction, and I understand why they did it. And I'm not gonna pick at that. I mean, there's other things that I would pick at.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny how like you see the scene where they die, you literally see like the entire roof falls down.
There shouldn't be a roof. I mean, there definitely shouldn't be dragon skulls left open.
He shouldn't be able to. Yeah, he shouldn't be able to walk down there. Like
no.
So that was another nitpicky.
He went through a different entrance.
Yeah, that was another nitpicky thing. So going kind of to John's ending, we both kind of, well, I said and you kind of agreed that it might potentially happen, that the North was always where he would end up.
Yeah. I mean, they hinted at it the entire time.
Yeah, and that was his overarching character theme, was the North.
Hey, at least he got to pet Ghost.
Yeah, he finally pet Ghost, and so that saves the entire series that he pet Ghost. No, I'm kidding. That was a good scene. That was a really good moment, though.
I think he pet Ghost, and Ghost didn't die, saved the entire series.
Yeah. So at the end, you see Jon. I don't think he's leaving the Night's Watch with the wildlings. I think he's just leading them like back to like reclaim their land and help them like find a place to live.
Yeah, he's not leading the wildlings. He's just living with them.
If anybody would leave them, Tormund would, with Jon's help. But I mean, they're going to be working together because the wall's open now for the wildlings. Which was another thing. Like, did they forget about the huge hole in the wall? Like, why are they closing the door to Castle Black? Like, there's a huge hole.
Symbolic reasons.
Yeah. You also see like
he's done with the South and what's below the wall.
Another thing to realize is Sansa is queen of the entire North, so that's everything north of the wall too, technically. So if the wildlings ever need anything, I'm sure she would like help them out. They would help her out.
River Run North, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I mean, she owns like a third of everything, pretty much.
I don't see Bran going and trying to conquer everything.
No, I don't think he would. Another thing to realize is Tyrion is also the Warden of the West and Lord of Casterly Rock by default now. So he ended up getting Casterly Rock, which he asked Tywin for. I think like season 3, something like that.
Yes.
Now, how would you have felt if Gendry had become king? I think if they would have spent more time on his character in the past couple of seasons and made him more relatable.
Well, here's the thing. He also is still young enough that he could become king.
True. And he has part Targaryen in him too.
Bran could just, be like, all right, I've done what I was supposed to. Because how he is, oh yeah, no. Why do you think I traveled all this way? He could be there just to rebuild it and get everything going in the right direction. And then he could just be like, all right, I'm stepping down. Y'all like someone else. And then that's when Gendry could step in.
Another thing, I know they have to keep up appearances, but why do they need a Master of Whispers when Bran can literally see everything? So I don't know. There was also people at the meeting. You saw Robin Aaron again. You see the new Prince or Lord of Dorne. You see Edmure Tully, who just like gets shut down immediately. I thought that was funny.
That was awesome. Uncle, sit down.
Yeah, that was really funny. So yeah, it apparently it never got out who Jon was, so still only a select amount of people know. So I guess Varys was writing the longest letter ever in the episode he died, because he was writing it when it was daytime, and then he was still apparently writing the same letter when it was nighttime, when Grey Worm went to bring him to get executed. So I guess he never sent out any ravens to any of the lords anywhere.
Who? Yeah, I mean, you assume he would send it out to the lords. I don't know who else you'd really send it out to.
Yeah, just maybe the wardens or the lords, like of all the other keeps. Another thing I didn't really agree with.
He could have sent it overseas, like Bravos and stuff like that.
Yeah. Another thing I didn't really agree with is Sam just automatically becoming Grand Maester.
Well, that's only because Bran trusts him.
Well, yeah, he trusts him, but like, I don't know. It seemed rushed.
He was Grand Maester.
Yeah, he was Grand Maester, and like all the other Maesters you've seen, like all their chains, like show their knowledge. I think Sam maybe had one, if that. I think it would have made more sense if they showed him like up at Old Town, like studying. Which again, if they just had more time, like
the Grand Maester's on the King's Council, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was more so the fact that, you know, he gave him that position because he trusts him and he wants him on his council, and Tyrion also trusts him.
Bran got his castle though. He got I think the biggest castle besides King's Landing. I think definitely the nicest.
It's the biggest one now.
Oh yeah, shit, true. So it was also important how Tyrion, the first time he was Hand of the King was, the first time he was Hand of the King, he did like really well, Battle of Blackwater. He was overall, that's when he was still smart, before they dumbed him down. When he was Hand of the Queen, he made just about every mistake he could.
Yeah, they nerfed him hard.
Yeah, and then he becomes Hand of the King again, which I liked. As his punishment. Yeah, as his punishment, which I liked, because the first thing he says is, right, we need to rebuild our port so we can get resources in, and we need to improve the sewer system.
He knows what he's doing at the end of the day, and if he's not having to play the Game of Thrones and he's just, you know, trying to manage the people and everything that goes into it with that, I think he's going to do a fine job. Yeah, I really, like I said, I really liked Tyrion's ending. I really liked Arya's ending, because she was always the kind of, she wasn't going to stay around. She was either going to die or she was going to. No, she was going to make sure. And a bunch of people were saying, well, if she was so concerned about her family, blah, 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 why would she leave? She was concerned about her family being safe. And let's put it this way. The Starks pretty much won. You have Bran sitting on the throne, Arya going and exploring and finding out new stuff to come back and probably give information to everyone. And then you have Sansa ruling the North. So technically the two realms right now, the North and then the other 6 kingdoms, it's all Starks ruling them, and technically Jon ruling the North, if you want to look at it that way. I mean, if people are going to say, well, why isn't she protecting Sansa? I mean, Bran would go protect her.
Yeah, Jon would go protect her.
Jon would go protect her. Brienne would leave her post to go protect her.
Yeah, that was another thing.
I don't think Brienne needed to live, but I mean, the fact that she did live and she became no,
I liked her ending too.
Captain of the Kingsguard. Yeah. I think that was
and how she wrote in Jaime's final passage in his book. I thought that was good. All the memes of that were so good.
It's still going on. Yeah,
it was like he had some fire dick or something like that.
Brienne had the most bomb ass pee.
Yeah, that is one thing that was good about this season overall, was the memes that you got out of it. All the memes were on another level this season. Hardcore. So it was really good. Yeah,
I think it's also like, you know, the why things are getting picked apart and being analyzed so much is just the hype around this season in particular. Because there was a lot of hype around like the other seasons. Nothing like this one.
No.
And
I mean,
it's
20
it's
million
also,
people watched the finale.
It's also, multiply the fact that we didn't have it last year. So everybody had more than
It's
enough
just
time
expounded,
to
yeah.
catch up. So the fact, and especially with how crazy, especially Twitter is now, it's just, but people complaining about, oh, well, Daenerys turned Mad Queen and she died. She was supposed to roll on the throne and everything was supposed to be good. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
I do like that it was technically,
It wasn't predictable.
It was it wasn't predictable, but it was technically a happy ending.
It was.
I find the fact that Grey Worm lived and is, for all intents and purposes, a villain now.
Yeah.
I found that like weird. Shit, even if there was like trial by combat and Jon and Grey Worm fight, that would have been better. Or, like, that would have been like just another thing that could have happened.
And Davos survived another battle. I mean,
yeah, I don't think Davos will have as big of a role in the books, because I think Liam Cunningham really brought to light Davos's character, and he was a show favorite, kind of like Bronn was a show favorite. So they gave him like a really big role. Like,
well, that's the casting director. I mean, think about how much money he's gonna make on his next TV series.
Oh yeah, I mean, he casted pretty much. He casted
Arya, Sansa,
pretty much
Bronn,
everybody perfectly.
Because what big name people were in this before?
Like, who was big before Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
The guy that played Tywin was somewhat popular.
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage was somewhat popular.
I'd say he's pretty popular. I mean,
yeah.
he's been in a lot of stuff.
Aidan Gillen, who played Littlefinger, who's pretty well known. Sean Bean, yeah.
Sean Bean probably pulled a lot right at the beginning.
Lena Headey was.
A lot of these people were also popular, like in over the seas.
Yeah. So. Not necessarily in America, in the U.S. market for movie.
I mean, as far as like the Starks go, not really popular at all. I mean, most of them are young kids.
Yeah, most of them are young. But then, like, Kit Harington was 21 or 22 when they started. So was Richard Madden. Yeah.
Sam hadn't even acted anything.
Yeah, he literally like got out of acting school and was like, "Oh, you're gonna be on Game of Thrones." Like I said, my main problem with this season, and I feel like I would have liked the season more if I didn't watch the behind the scenes parts, where the writers were just contradicting themselves and everything they say. Like the whole thing where they talk about Sam's brother being executed, and they say Sam's older brother wasn't a bad person. And it's like Sam's whole storyline was introduced that his father made him join the Night's Watch because Dickon, his younger brother, he wanted him to be his heir more than Sam.
Yeah. And but what does that make his brother make a... What the writer say, sorry?
The writer called Dickon his older brother. But the entire point of Sam's story introduction was Sam was the heir. So it's like stuff like that. Saying we witnessed the end of the Dothraki, but then every episode more Dothraki are coming back to life. Like there was a lot in the finale. There was like hundreds.
I don't know if that was for emphasis or something, but no, I agree with that. But
Daenerys
I'm not gonna
forgot about the Iron Fleet.
I'm not gonna, harp on the really the negative things. I still think it was a good wrap up. Yes. Do I want more? Yes. Could they expand that on more? Yeah. Could they put a little bit more effort into the writing? With that all being said, there's been a lot worse last seasons to TV shows.
Oh God. Yeah. People saying this is the worst. I haven't even seen Dexter, and I hate the ending to it more than I hate the ending to this. If you haven't seen Lost, Sopranos. If you haven't seen the ending to Lost,
Sopranos, Scrubs, the last season's horrible.
What do you mean? Season 8 was great. I don't know. Like you said, the hype around this was so huge.
It was. I think that's a big part to playing into it, and we have to remember that, because I was thinking about that earlier today. That thinking back to 2 years ago when season 7 came out, even whenever I first started watching it at season 2. There was not many people talking about it. There was a small group of people talking about it. And then you have all these big name people that are on social media talking about it, and they'll say one thing and then their crowd says exactly the same thing, and then it's all out everywhere. And it's,
have you seen what Aaron Rodgers said?
No.
You should watch the video of him giving his thoughts.
Oh, it's okay. He probably blew out his knee whenever he was jumping in the fire.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
I mean,
he was giving it like after an interview or something.
The more I hear about Aaron Rodgers, I like less and less of him. He's a drama queen.
But yeah, it just feels like the writers did not give their all for this season.
No, they probably
which sucks. Like, it really, really sucks. Because
now the double D brothers, they were the writers.
Yeah, they wrote the entire last 2 seasons.
I thought they were the creators of the, creators, executive producers of the show, but I'm sure they had other people write it. My biggest thing is, George R. Martin read the scripts, that he saw it before everything. So
yes, I don't know.
What makes you think how much is going to be different? Because
I think
he's already come out
different.
He's already come out and said it's ending almost the exact same way.
Yeah, he said the main points will be the same, but like the people on the small council, I don't think will be the same, because the people on the small council are mostly show favorites. They're not as popular in the books.
Is Bronn even in the books?
I believe he is.
Which there's one main character that's not even in the books.
Gendry is not in the books.
No, that's who it is.
John is still dead in the books, so. And apparently the 3 big WTF moments, they said they would never reveal it, but if y'all don't know who Emergency Awesome is, go sub to him.
I figured it out.
He thinks it was, I thought the first 2 were Hodor and Shireen Baratheon being burnt. But apparently it was like 3 like story moments. So it was John getting revived, finding out why it was still Hodor, finding out why Hodor was Hodor.
I mean, that was always going to be one.
Yeah, and then Daenerys going like Mad Queen. Those were the 3.
I could see that.
Yeah,
I can understand why it would probably be John coming back to life over Shireen Baratheon dying.
Yeah, because if you look back at that moment, that was the season. That was the last scene of season 5.
That's when it was probably at it. I mean, season 1 is great. Season 1 probably has the best writing, as far as I think you would probably agree. Because they probably spent the most effort onto it. But whenever you're getting season 4, season 5, that's when it was starting to pick up. And that ending, having to wait a year to find out what happens.
Except for the Dorne storyline in season 5. I thought that was terrible.
Yeah, I don't care about it.
Season 4 is, well, like I said, after we do next week, or
are you gonna want to watch next week?
No, I'm gonna watch next week.
Okay, did you see the picture of Arya with her sunglasses, Bran with his legs crossed because he's probably free balling under all his clothes, and then Sansa puffing on a jewel?
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. What was I going to say? For next episode, we'll probably do an overall season, and then we'll rank our seasons on what we think are the best, which will be very difficult.
Yeah, I got to do some research on that one.
I already have a pretty concrete list. I already know what season is my favorite, and
I know which ones are at the top and which ones are towards the bottom. It's just trying to figure out, exactly which one's best.
I know which one is my least favorite. That's for sure.
Well, obviously, yeah. It seems like all you've done is just harp on the negative things.
Well, because
I'm trying to keep it positive.
Yeah.
He pet Ghost.
There's not a lot. There's not a lot of positive, brother.
He pet Ghost and Tormund lived.
I will say the positives of the season. The score, the music was insane. Like,
oh yeah, I mean the score, insane. how it was shot and everything.
The cinematography was on another level, like noticeably better than other seasons, which is why I harp on the writing so much. Everything else was noticeably better. Yeah, everything else was noticeably better from season 7 to season 8. Even then, the writing in season 7 had its faults too, because you got to remember that was technically rushed too. It was a shorter season.
You're just mad that Cersei stood in a window all season and got paid $1 million an episode.
That too. I'm mad they made Jon a glorified extra this season. for the most part.
Yeah.
He had 4 lines. I love you. I don't want it. You're my queen.
Mm.
When and for all intents and purposes, he was the main character of the show. Him and Daenerys.
I think it was him, Daenerys, and Tyrion were the main characters of the show.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Tyrion,
in the books,
it started off with Jon and Daenerys, but then Tyrion's character got introduced, and he was, in the background, but then it always followed his storyline.
Which in the books, the books mostly focus on Bran. In the books, they focus on Bran and Tyrion the most. Like, Robb Stark isn't a viewpoint character in the books, but season 2 and 3 literally only followed Robb Stark.
Yeah,
so there's
there's
definitely a lot of differences. So I think there
Rob's
will be
also an idiot in the TV show. Yeah,
that too. Which a lot of the stuff, like, since he's not a viewpoint character, is off screen, off page in the books. He's still a dumbass in the books, but
why are people not upset about that?
Oh, people!
You killed your entire family because you had to sleep with some other woman.
Plenty of people are upset about that.
Not anybody today.
Well, yeah, true, but that was also
5
seasons and 7 years
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Was Twitter even born yet?
Yeah, I don't know. But like you said, that's just another thing. Like, Twitter is so big now.
It's all you see, and it gets ingrained in your mind. And that I didn't look at anything.
I've been looking at stuff, but that didn't influence my opinions.
Yeah, well, it's exactly like you said. You're harping so much on the writing because everything else is so good.
Yeah, that's my
good,
entire
the
thing.
Cinematography's. Now, I want to go back, and I'm gonna wait for a collector's 4K edition, and I'm gonna buy it because I saw banding on the last episode. Like, I saw like the grays and the darks in the corner. It was just all crinkling.
Yeah,
I was like, I know that's not my TV. No.
Overall, the series is still probably my favorite series of all time.
TV series?
TV series, yeah.
It's a top 10. It's not top 5.
Overall, for you? What are your top 5?
Oh, man. In no particular order.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Scrubs, Nip Tuck, Rescue Me, House, ER. Game of Thrones is in there. Now I'm going blank. And other ones. Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica was really good. Except the ending.
There's a writer strike in the middle of it.
I know. But
they had to
a writer
skip a
strike
lot.
at HBO. The 2 writers.
Office. The first.
The first 5 seasons or 6, yeah.
5, 6 seasons. And
the last
4
episode, yeah. That finale was good.
Yeah, I like medical drama shows, so ER, House, and Scrubs are always going to be up there.
I think I don't know. This might trump Breaking Bad for me.
See, I'm not going to watch Breaking Bad.
I don't understand why. You truly don't know what you're missing out on.
I would rather watch Mad Men.
Okay. Gotta be.
I hear the same things about it. I don't know. I've read things about Mad Men from Mad Men and Breaking Bad, and those are always 2. But it's also the same thing. Like, I don't really have an interest in watching The Sopranos or anything. It's just, it has to catch my attention, and I know what the storyline is. I know what happens, so that's also kind of a deterrent.
So, in review, I thought this season was good. I know
it's definitely not the worst.
No, well,
to you,
yeah.
It's at the bottom.
I could see why it wouldn't be the worst. Let's put it that way. For some people,
it's at the bottom, but it's in no means horrible. If you're talking, it's probably a 6 out of 10. With the worst might be being a 5 out of 10.
Yeah,
and I could be wrong. There could just be 2 that are just just okay, that are tied for last.
And we harp on this a lot. We're only talking in terms of this show.
Not the books.
Well, yeah, not the books, but I'm talking about like compared to other shows. Because compared to other shows, like, this season was still amazing. And if you're a casual watcher, you probably, or like if you binged, like if you just started watching it live last season, or you hadn't
Or in
watched
the
it
2 weeks
live at all.
before.
Like
2 weeks before
I
the
have
season started.
I have friends that literally binged the entire series like in the last month and caught up.
Yeah.
That, I mean, they enjoyed the ending. If you enjoyed it, that's good. I like for us to not always agree, which we said, I think in like episode 1 of the podcast, we were like, we're gonna agree on a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff we won't agree on.
Oh yeah, no, we don't agree on everything.
No, and I think it's good to have two, not necessarily differing opinions, because we both loved the show. I brought up some points that you maybe kind of thought more of. You brought up some I maybe thought more of. So overall, I won't give my final score for the season. We'll do that next episode, and then we'll talk more about how it compares to other seasons. But I still thought it was good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was happy with the ending.
Yeah, we both just agree that they needed more time, and you can, as many ways as you turn it, the writers, the D&D just messed up, like straight up.
Yeah. I mean, it could be for a number of reasons, because it got announced before this season came out that they were going to do something else.
Yeah.
They probably had an opportunity that jumped at them, and they said, no, we want to finish this up. We're ready to move on. I mean, if you think about it, they've been doing it for 11, 12 years.
Yeah. But to me, if you're doing something for that long, you want it to finish it right.
Yeah. I understand that. But it it's like, there's stuff on both sides, and it's
money talks.
Yeah, it does.
Disney,
and if you're locked into
money talks,
if you're locked into a price for a certain amount of seasons, and then big old Mickey Mouse comes over here and just shoves money down your throat for you to go do a Star Wars show,
an older Star Wars movies,
yeah,
trilogy
on
the Old Republic, which
Star
has been
Wars
highly
movies
requested.
Trilogy. So let them take 2 hours. Okay, if you want to think about this, if they can get 2, let's say 3 years per movie, per 2-hour movie, I think that it's going to be great for Star Wars. Because, I mean, even the best episodes that they're able to do for this, that they put their time and put their effort into, if they have all that focus in a 2-hour movie, I think it's going to be awesome.
I would say it can't be worse than The Last Jedi, but
I mean, come on, the where she's flipping the lightsaber right through her and it doesn't kill her.
Yeah,
you want to talk about bad cinematography and bad editing,
or how the ships run out of fuel and stop in space. Things don't stop in space; they keep carrying momentum.
Yeah, and how they completely break everything that else has happened. Oh, we're just gonna warp through somebody.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just have a freaking TIE fighter or a X-wing warp through the middle of the Death Star?
Yeah,
and just blow it up that way.
So we're digressing here a little bit, but yeah, it was.
Solo wasn't that bad.
No, Solo. I liked Solo.
Once you get over his accent, his acting. Okay.
So I think everybody can agree we're sad it's over. It was definitely an amazing series. I'm very excited for the prequels.
We got the prequels coming up.
Yeah. So we will. I'm assuming we'll still be doing the podcast when those come around. Shit will probably be on like episode 200 by then, because they're supposed to premiere next year. Yeah. So
yeah, 2020. They announced it this year, and it same thing. They're comparing that Game of Thrones was announced and it aired the next year. So it was announced this year. It's going to air next year.
So if you're listening, other shows that we will be reviewing, or if not, I'll be doing solo videos. The Witcher series on Netflix. You never played The Witcher. You just don't want to play things that are my favorite. It's obvious.
You don't want to play things. I'll play The Witcher if you play Persona 5.
I will play Persona 5. I've never said I wouldn't play it.
When are you going to find time to play?
Exactly.
No, it's just I know I don't have anything against The Witcher. It's just, what type of person I am when it comes to games like that. I'm going to be 40 hours into it, and I'm not even going to be out of the starting.
That's how I am with my modded Skyrim playthrough right now.
Well, yeah. But that's also because you can play Skyrim with actually good graphics.
Yeah. Insanely good graphics.
I mean, I'm thinking about downloading Dragon Age on PlayStation 3 and replaying that just because how good that game is.
So overall, It's really fun doing these podcasts for this season. I kind of wish we had started doing it earlier, like earlier in the show wise. But then again, that would have been 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Before we even thought of doing a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But
and we're gonna get back to doing
gaming
other
stuff.
tech and gaming stuff. I mean, E3's coming up, so we can we can do we're gonna do something about that. We'll probably do we could probably do a video on each of the each press conference, or maybe an overall. We can do an overall, and then like
an overall one.
If there's any big topics, maybe we can do a little. If we're
like
gonna
Final
get back
Fantasy
to
7 and Halo, I would say.
Yeah, if we get back to like 20-minute episodes, we can do one on Microsoft. We can do one
and
on
Cyberpunk.
Bethesda.
Cyberpunk will probably be announced this year, from what I've been seeing. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, I don't know what PlayStation's releasing this fall besides Medieval, and I mean that's second party. That's not even first party.
Yeah. So
Ghost of Tsushima is going to be next year.
I'm excited for that game.
Yeah. Last of Us 2 is not coming out this year.
Yeah, when you were saying it was coming out this year, I was.
Well, that was before I saw there was still before that I saw. No one knew that there was still mocapping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just finished that like a month ago?
I said it was coming. I said it was coming out this year before we saw. Oh, we just wrapped up motion capture, and it's like, oh, that's not coming out this year.
No, definitely not.
And then we both know Death Stranding's not coming out this year.
No, that game's never coming out, dude. I'm telling you. Just like people were saying, just like people were saying Final Fantasy 7 remake's never coming. I don't think that game's ever coming out.
They might release episode 1, but the other two, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, all they've shown so far is that initial reactor fight in Midgar.
Mm-hmm.
Now they are saving the Tifa reveal for E3.
Mm-hmm.
They showed a scene of her
name in the party, huh?
Yeah, they showed a name in the party, and I like all the changes that they did to it, but I'll believe that game when I see it, and depending on how much it's going to cost.
And how many? Yeah, well, it's rumored that it's going to be 2 episodes, so each episode,
2,
yeah, at minimum.
I heard 3,
and each one will be $60.
I'd say leaving Midgar is going to be in episode 1, and then
that's like a fourth of the game.
Then going to end of disc 2 with the big spoiler, that's going to be disc 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of it's going to be 3. That, or they can split that up. Maybe
I would think going to the spoiler would be the end of 1.
Maybe,
unless they want to piss a whole lot of people off.
Going to that, you're saying like they're going to do disc for disc.
Well, no, because it was 3 discs, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm saying like you're saying disc 1 is going to be all the way to that.
Potentially.
I'd say it would be to. I think Cosmo Canyon would be a good point where they find out, like about the Mako.
Point, yeah.
Or Niblum or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce
Nibelheim.
Nibelheim. Whenever he goes down and he sees Sephiroth again.
That would, because that happens right after Midgar.
No, it doesn't. No. Oh, it could end after the story, after the whole backflash of what happens.
Yeah,
and
when
it does, back and forth and everything like that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's
because they go to Junon after. Do they go to Junon after Midgar?
No, they go.
This is bad. We literally watch a Final Fantasy VII speedrunner. Like,
I forget. No, they don't go to Junon. Is not there. Junon's like on the way, but yes, that's where they're going. But it's a little Calm. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Calm Town. That's where the story takes place. I think that would be a good spot. So you go through all of Midgard. I mean, there's a lot going on there. Now, I mean, people are going to get upset because they're going to take out the cross-dressing scene. Don Corneo is probably not going to be in it at all. But people are upset that Barrett's a big black guy, and that's racist.
Yeah, even though it wasn't racist 20 years ago.
No, it'll be racist if they put him in a sailor outfit.
Oh my god. Outrage culture, dude. It applies to everything. It would apply strong to this season.
I just want better graphics. It's a remake, not remaster.
Yeah. It's a remake, so the game is going to play differently.
You have the source material that's the same. That's it.
If you want to play turn-based, go play the original game.
We're not even sure if there's a materia in this, so don't get your hopes up.
God, we just diverged for like 15 minutes. But anyways,
guys.
Because
Final Fantasy VII's awesome.
Yeah, it's because that's like one of the best games of all time. Anyway,
Mhm.
guys, we appreciate y'all watching this season for Game of Thrones. Like I said, I feel like we brought two kind of not different standpoints because we both thought it was good, but different.
No, we different takes.
Yeah, different takes.
You
And
focused on some things, I focused on
Yeah.
other things, and we both agreed on things.
we're part of the nitpicky group, but we're also part of the group that can enjoy something for what it is. And
we're open to discuss things and not get upset when someone else doesn't agree with us.
Yeah. So we are the minority on the internet.
Yeah.
Is what we're trying to hint at. So guys, we really do appreciate y'all watching. Like Jonathan said, we will be getting back into some tech and
Yeah, I got a new TV. We got to talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a badass TV. So we will be getting back into more tech and video game industry episodes here coming up, and probably get back to our shorter episode length.
The video game stuff has been in a kind of lull. I mean, other than really like Days Gone coming out, WoW Classic got announced, which is we're both hyped about, which we probably will do videos about that.
Yeah, we definitely will.
I mean, we can do
because that game's gonna last a
let's
while.
play. We can almost do let's plays on that.
Yeah, like leveling up or yeah, that might be something to look at for the future. Anyways, guys, just under an hour long episode. I think it's a good length for the series finale. Next week, when we do the what's it called? The
Last Watch.
The Last Watch. We'll probably try and go through that pretty quick because that's apparently like 2 hours long.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of behind the scenes, so we'll make notes about that. But do you also want to give our rankings in that episode too?
Yeah, we could do that. That would probably be easier.
I mean, that'll probably be like an hour and a half.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, that was episode 22. If you're listening, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, watching on YouTube, we do stream one of these Monday night, 8 or 8:30 Central Time PM, twitch.tv/Brewski. Be sure to comment down below what you thought of the season. If you liked it, disliked it, why you did. Try and keep it civil if you do comment. I know it's a fetch
or not we just won't respond to you.
Yeah pretty much. We won't respond to you if you're ridiculous.
Yeah
guys, episode 22. Be sure to follow, like, whatever platform you're listening on. Until next time, guys,
keep gaming.
We'll see y'all later. Peace.